Today we learn how does a computer work, chapter 3 continuation. In the last class we learned that computer works in 3 different steps: input, processing and output, right? Then we explained the same concept, input, process and output, with an example. How Nimbupani is made, what is the input, what is processing and what is output, right? So for computer, whatever which goes to the processing unit is called input. Whatever comes out from the processing unit is called output. So it has 3 steps: input, processing and output. So let us explain one by one. Input: information or data given to the computer with the help of the keyboard and the mouse is called input. Keyboard and mouse are the input devices which give data to the computer, to the processing unit. Scanner, barcode reader, camera, microphone, all these are other examples which you take the input in another format. So information or data given to the computer with the help of the input devices such as keyboard and mouse is called input. Got it, children? So these are the examples of input. So mouse, keyboard, scanner, barcode reader, all these things give data to the computer. So these are called as input devices. Okay. If you type something on the keyboard, that is input. If you send photo through the scanner to the CPU, it is also an input. You know barcode reader, it is used in shopping malls, right? And in supermarkets. So this will read the price of the object and it will send it to the processing unit. The processing unit will calculate the price. So these are some inputs given to the processing unit. You know, the computer stores all these things in its memory. Computer stores the data in its memory. It can be done in 3 ways. The data can be stored in computer in 3 ways. First one is in words. You know words, English words. I like computers. Do you? Right? So I is a word, like is a word, computer is a word, do is a word, you is a word. So data can be stored in the form of words. Next one in numbers. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. Any number. So data can be stored in the form of numbers also. Next in pictures. Examples are given here. Cat, parrot, so bird. So pictures can be stored in computer. Okay, got it, children? So these are some inputs. So information or data given to the computer is called input. So data can be stored in 3 ways. One in words, another one using numbers, next one through pictures. Processing. CPU is a main processing unit. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. We know CPU is the brain of a computer, right? Where is the CPU resides? Yes, in the CPU box. If you open the CPU box, you can see motherboard. In the center of the motherboard, you can see the CPU, which is the brain of the computer. All the processing is done by the CPU. For input, we have different devices: keyboard, mouse, scanner, barcode reader, right? But for processing, only one unit is there, that is nothing but CPU. So all the processing is done by the CPU. The computer then sorts out and makes sense of the data we feed into it. This is called processing. Whatever we give to the computer will be sorted out and it will be given as an information, a complete data. So this is called processing. For example, if you speak through a microphone, So the CPU understand it and it will record it. So that is called processing. Finally, it will give it as a song. Okay, so this is called processing. Output. When the computer finishes processing, the data we get is called the output. See the picture. So here the song through microphone is an input. CPU is processing it. Finally, we get MP3 audio sound, that is output. So the finished processing is called output. You can see the output on the monitor. We know that monitor is also connected to the CPU, right? So we can see the output on the monitor, or else we can take a printout. Printer is also an output device. It is connected to the CPU. We can take printout. Now you learned what is input, what is processing, and what is output. So what are the devices used for input? Keyboard and mouse. What is a processing unit? CPU. What is the output? Monitor and printer. Yes. Let us remember, if you do not need a printout, do not take it. Why? Yes, we have to save paper and we have to save trees. Papers are made from trees. So if you do not need printout, you don't need to take printout. You can save it in the computer and you can share it. Got it, children? Okay. Thank you.